Hello, and welcome to Idle Insights. I am not Todd Kenrick, and I hope you can hear me because I just set this up. You can! Yay! Yeah, I'm not Todd Kenrick. I'm Trevor Bettis, and I'm filling in for him today because he's not feeling too well, but we still wanted to put on a show and talk with some awesome, the awesome person, DJ Knight here from Black Dice Society, and a whole bunch of other things. Twitch.tv/DJ Knight. That's it, right?
Oh, hi, me. That is exactly it.
That is it. Yeah, so we didn't want to...
I feel like I'm louder than you are on the show.
You are?
Turn yourself up.
I am? Oh my gosh, I need to be louder? That's something that never happens.
You're not loud enough, Trevor.
Oh my gosh, I'm not loud enough. There we go. I'm gonna bring myself up. I'm gonna bring myself up right there. I'm gonna be, I'll be loud like I always am. But hey,
I like it.
DJ, thank you for
Hi.
being on.
Thank you for having me on.
You not only the newest champion to Idle Champions, but you're on Idle Champions Presents Court of the Raven Queen.
Yes.
How's it feeling? Like, because Black Dice Society started last year, fairly early on in the year, and now you got a champion in the game. How's that feel?
Surprising.
I believe
Right,
that.
because like I made my I downloaded Idle Champs like last May or something. I was like, all right, I'm gonna play this because obviously, like I don't know if anybody knows, I'm a big fan of like mobile games and idle games. Like a lot of people have said, like, I don't get idle games because you don't actually play them and then they just play themselves. And I'm like, that's the perfect part. Like, your heroes are wrecking things.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to tell them what to do. It's like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go do other stuff. And you come back and it's like, hey man, we found you a bunch of gold. Thanks. I appreciate that. Go do what you do. So I signed up for the newsletter. If you do that in the game, you get code keys in your email regularly.
Right.
In
And you get a
addition
whole
to all of the
champion.
codes.
Yeah.
Which champion is it that you get?
You get Hitch.
Yeah. So I was wondering, like, I don't remember unlocking Hitch, but I put in my codes from my chests, from my emails, from subscribing, and like I just literally dumped a ton of those boxes and just never opened them.
And then you get to have a big unboxing party.
That's literally what happened Monday because I played on stream for the first time and I just like spent like 20 minutes. Like I unlocked Desmond boxes and then I just like, let me just open a bunch of my newsletter boxes and it was lovely. I'm a fan. But no, it's interesting because Black Dice Society is one element of D&D. So to have a D&D game that's just like always playing itself and then to have so many different characters and they're all in different universes. So like it's a cool way to see so many different parts of D&D in one place. And that's just one of the things I like about it. So there's a lot of cool stuff. And also, I mean, I taught game design for some years. So to be in a game
that's so
next
good.
level. I was like, yeah, I'm here for that. Yes, please and thank you.
No, I never really thought about that before of like having a champion in the game. Not just it's cool that it is that you've got a character that you made in a game, but yeah, I didn't think about the fact like, oh yeah, you can be like running with Minsk, like Minsk the Mighty, and all these famous D&D characters, and there's your D&D character right there. That is wild. See, like I'm the community manager. I don't even think about this stuff sometimes.
Here for you yet again.
But
happy to help and spread joyful thoughts because that to me that's awesome. Like D&D characters that have been D&D and characters that people have been watching for a good amount of time, all interacting at the same time, like that is sweet. It makes me very happy, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here.
Yeah. I did just get reminded because I got chat going on here. I forgot to say, hi, if you have questions for DJ, go ahead and drop them in the chat with, all caps question, colon, and then the question, and our awesome mod Martin will grab them. I'll ask DJ later in the show those questions. It's good to let people know about that so they don't just
that could be a good
miss
idea.
out. But yeah, you were talking about mobile games, and like the idle stuff in general, and I don't know if you remember, did you play Assassin's Creed Black Flag?
Yes. Who didn't?
Did you play the companion app?
Of course I did.
That was the thing that I'm like, this is what I want. I loved that because you were like, oh yeah, you bunch of ships, go out there, go get me some materials, come on back, and I'll put them in the game. Like,
and then they're in the game when you get back to it. It's like
cool. Yeah,
it's lovely.
Yeah, so that was definitely like what pulled me into Idle Champions because like my sister-in-law Allie, she was the one that was playing it that I saw, and I'm like, oh, this game looks kind of cool. What are you doing this? And she explained to me, and I immediately went and downloaded it.
Immediately, you have to.
And now you can get all your favorite stream show characters in it. So okay, Black Dice Society.
Mhm.
How did you get involved in that?
It was actually, I want to say Cypher of Tier.
Okay.
I
Friend
feel
of the
like
show,
Cypher
been
of
on the
Tier
show.
is just like an amazing human and is regular. Like, hey, here's a cool thing. Do you want to be a part of it? I'm like, obviously. Like, is that even a question? Let's go. So it was mind blowing for me
Mhm.
because as someone who played all of the Mass Effect,
Mm.
being able to meet Mark Mears is kind of
It's kind of wild.
So like it took a lot for me not to fanboy them in the first like group meeting. I was just like, let me stop. And I was, and then he said it, and I was like, oh yeah. And everybody who's played Mass Effect knows exactly what thing I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite stream on Twitch. Like that, he did the thing, and I was just like,
I think I
let
did.
me calm down.
I
Let me
did
be
the same.
easy. I was good until then, and then it was like, oh, there's a wrap. That happens.
Mhm.
But no, like it's been an amazing ride because I wanted to originally make him chaotic neutral
Okay.
because I like the idea of like somebody who's like, I feel like doing that. Let me do that however I feel like. Like it's just nice.
Yeah.
So imagine my surprise when that did not happen.
And I do feel like I remember a few of the cast having an alignment and that changing because they're like, I want to do something different.
And that's the thing that I like about playing these sorts of games because you initially set out to do a thing. And then as you play the character, you get to understand your character. And once you understand your character, it's like, all right, they wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Once you start to get the background on the place that you're at, the things that you did, like your character's background, like you get more from the DM. Like I don't know. I try to keep my slate open when it comes to a character. I'll set a couple rules that these are the things that my character finds important. And these are a few key parts of the background, but I also feel like the DM fills in a lot of that sort of thing with lore that you don't know until you hear it. So hearing the lore about Desmond was like, ooh, I can't do that because would he do that? And it just changed the way I played the character. And I love how the character's grown over the past year. It's just been impressive to see and experience.
Yeah. I feel like there's like two kind of like magic moments you have with a character at the very beginning of the game. It's either that one where it's you have that realization they wouldn't do that, and that alone is like I'm understanding this character, I know who they are a little bit more, or when you as the character do something that you didn't expect you to do, and both of those moments is when I feel like a player starts to feel the character more.
And that's really the goal in all of these games, especially as someone who streams, right? Like if you're streaming, you kind of have to know your character because there's gonna be situations where you're presented with something that may not be what your character would do. And if you're gonna do that thing, you have to have a reasoning for that. So I feel like a lot of my weirdness with Desmond recently is because of the effects of the end of the first season of Black Dice Society that well, not necessarily, like we're kind of fresh back into it. Like the culmination of the previous year was like, oh, that's a thing. So like I feel like I gave myself a little bit of leeway to do what I wanted to with Desmond for a bit.
God, we're not gonna spoil it, but that's that season finale, folks. If you have not seen the season finale of Black Dice Society, that was a wild ride.
Changed everything.
Yeah,
for a lot of Desmond's everything, and what's cool about it is like seeing like the gear in game and seeing how much work went into making all of that fit Desmond's background. It's just like, this is so good.
Yeah, I for those that don't know, I edit the podcast for Black Dice Society, and that season finale when I did it, when the reveal happened, I straight up out loud went, "I'm sorry, what?" And my wife freaked out because she thought I'd lost the whole file. She's like, "Is the podcast okay?" I'm like, "No, it's what happened in it."
Nice, real nice.
So how long had you been playing D&D before getting on Black Dice Society?
Ooh, I actually had never played a lot of D&D until I got onto Twitch, but before that, my first tabletop well lasted like 2 years.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's like it's a faux pas.
Oh no, you could say other ones. We know other
I
things.
don't want to take that
exist.
chance. I don't want to be like, oh, it's this game, and then people be like,
That was not the thing you should have said.
so like, I was like, let me gather and let me not. Like, I want to give a leeway just in case I was being to
That's
be
fair.
muted.
That's
like,
fair. That's fair.
I played a lot of, and it was great, and I played for multiple years.
Well played.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
but no, like it was fantastic. Some buddies from work, we would go over to one of our buddies' house. Another one of the buddies was DM. We just played for hours and hours, and that was the game that cemented for me that rogues were basically how I was going to play everything. Because there's nothing better than I'm going into stealth. It's the best. And they're like, oh, roll for it. Boom. Yeah, I'm stealth. There's nothing you can do about it. Oh, advantage. Perfect. I'm still stealth. GG's. Like it took a lot for me not to make Desmond a rogue.
What's funny is people thought Desmond was a rogue several times that I've seen in the community. And I'm like, I get how you think that, especially with the multiple blades, but but no,
there's specialties you get for your character that allow you to carry multiple blades. That's a thing.
Yeah, but no, I get what you mean about the rogues. I played my first rogue last year and immediately fell in love with it. I'm like, oh, okay, I get this. Everybody does this. Like nobody does this because it sucks.
Everybody's doing it because it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's a battle. Oh, do they see me? Oh, we're not in battle yet? Cool. I'm going into stealth. And then you don't have to roll for it because there's no battling. So it's just like, I mean, I'm already good at the stealthy things. Stealth.
Yeah.
Thanks. And then you just, oh, is that a back?
Be a shame if something would have happened to it.
Like, it's sorry.
Then you get to roll all those dice. So many dice. It's so satisfying.
It's so nice to just roll and you just hear like 18 dice just. It's like, oh, dead damage. That's how much damage we just dealt. They're dead. Like they gotta be dead. If they're not, next turn they're gonna hate me. Like
I had a player who was doing a rogue and we were getting high level and they rolled their backstab damage. I'm like, I'm sorry, are you playing Warhammer right now? We're playing D&D. What are all these D6s for?
How many die did you roll and why? Why are you able to roll that many?
Yep.
Rogues.
Yep.
For the dubs. For the dubs.
So what would you say is it that has kept you into TTRPGs? Because you did that game for 2 years, you've done a few stream games. Like what is it that keeps pulling you back to it?
I feel like the camaraderie you get when you play a game with people that you know. And then like even if you start a game with people you don't know, you become real tight because you can't really play a game for 2 hours and have like tens of games and not get closer.
Yeah.
And then you start to understand what your team will do or what your team is likely to do. And it's like, okay, if I do this, they're going to do this. And then they do it. It's like, oh, yes, nice. So it's like, it allows you to strategize without saying a word. And that to me, I feel like I always like to experience that with different teams because it's always interesting how that dynamic grows. And that's the kicker. Watching it grow is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think one of the more unique things that can happen in a TTRPG, I mean, streamed or in person or whatever, is getting into a game with people you don't know, and like that might be the only interaction you have with them is the game, but you do form that bond, you do grow closer, and you, like you were saying, like I bet they're gonna do that. You get to know that person just by playing the game like that.
It is always lovely, in my opinion, to see that happen. So like for me, it's just you get to grow as a group, you get to grow with your character, and all of it is nice. And yes, we should play a game where I play a rogue because I feel like it's all of the games that I've played since then are an experience for me because I have purposefully not chosen a rogue again.
Okay.
Because I want to actually understand a lot of like D&D that I didn't understand. And I feel like every game you play, every character you play is a whole new experience because of subclasses and like because of what other people play. Like you can never play the exact same campaign the same way, even if you pick all of the exact same specs, exact same stuff. So seeing what other people choose helps because I get to learn about a bunch of other stuff in the process. So like it's always funny because even now in all the games, like in both Black Dice Society and Idle Champions Presents Court of the Raven Queen, somebody will say like, "Oh yeah, that's like this," and then I'm just like, "What is this?" So like I'm googling, like you'll see like on like watch the VODs for the games, like somebody will say something and I'll just be like, and you'll see like a flash of light because I just opened up a Google tab, like what are they even talking about? Like I need to know right now, like I need it. Give it to me. And then like I'll click thing and just like, oh look, there it is. And then like just like a quick flash of everything's bright. Like it just happens.
Quick flash of inspiration.
Like that. It's that. And then like you see, okay, too much. Calm down. But like that. That's me opening a tab. Like, what are they even talking about right now?
The paparazzi of information.
The paparazzification of the Twitch stream. How are they doing this? What are they even talking about? Why do I not know more? Give it to me, please and thank you.
I love that. Well, okay, so you know, speaking of like VODs and on stream and whatnot, what do you find is? Do you find that there is a difference for you as a player between like your home games for fun and your stream games? No.
Because I think the only difference is that like there's more of a voice. And because I'm the kind of person who will like to pull up chat just to kind of see what the sentiment is and see if I'm like missing crucial things. Like I'm not trying to metagame or anything like that, but it's like I want to see what the community has to say because I stream and I'd like to see what the community has to say. I always find it funny when people are like, "Oh no, DJ's this class." It's like, nope, not at all. But I'm not gonna tell you because you don't need to know. So like, it's secret. You will never know. Like it's always right there. So I'm like, I like seeing where people's guesses are going and just seeing people's reactions to what we're doing in the game. Like the finale, for example, watching the Pog champs just like what? And it was just and then seeing our faces. So like there's just more people involved with experiencing it, and it's lovely.
That makes sense.
Very nice.
Yeah, like I know that there is a it does seem like it obviously it is a performance in a way and whatnot, but like it is definitely instead of, you know, just doing it in front of the audience, it's more of like just doing it with extra friends, like playing your D&D game with more friends that are just hanging out. Granted, some of them are shouting things from the background that don't need to be shouted. But that's why we have commands in chat.
It's true.
Yes.
It's true. Also bans.
Which one?
Bans.
Oh, yeah. That's
Every
true.
now and then there's somebody says something and it's like, we're sorry. That thing you said did not go through. Please try again somewhere else because bye-bye. Thanks. It's lovely.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
I would be remiss if I didn't bring this up about Black Dice Society. But you also have y'all have a fan, Art and Audio, who does some live drawings during y'all shows. And if Chad, if you're not following Art and Audio on Twitter, I highly recommend it.
Fix it.
They do some amazing artwork.
Amazing.
I said recently, because I don't get to catch the show live very often, but when I edit it later, I save it for that. And a few times I've looked through Art and Audio's thread of drawings from the live show and just tried to guess what happens in the show. And it's always off a little bit. But the pocket brisket, you know, that's always easily spotted.
You can never go wrong with pocket brisket, to be fair.
It's true.
And I love that, like, people may not have noted, but like that is literally like I'm a big fan of like smoking meats. So like it's awesome to be able to sprinkle that in the Desmond. Also, I didn't realize it at the time, but then I said sprinkle that in the Desmond, and it just immediately provoked Salt Day situations. I was like, okay, touche. I didn't mean it, but I mean it worked.
It works, and I'm here for it.
But it's like that to me, that is a lovely way to implement a little bit more of me into Desmond, because I feel like more than any other character I've played thus far, this character is more me than I've played, and I love that about it.
Were you expecting that? Did you have a
Not at
feeling
all.
that was gonna happen with Desmond? No.
I mean, it does help that the character literally looks like me, so it was
When,
modeled after my face. So
when,
like
when the portrait comes up in the game, I'm like, hey, it's DJ.
like the first time I saw the artwork, Adam Schubert, by the way, if you see the official Black Knight Society artwork,
it is
Adam's
still
amazing.
It is still, I kid you not, it is my wallpaper on my phone.
Appreciate
it's been that way for a little while now.
Unsurprisingly or surprisingly, I'm not sure how that is to be. My wallpaper has been if it actually shows it, like why? Like so many notifications and I can't clear them anymore.
That was my same thing too. I was like, oh my god, I've missed so much.
It's like, go away. I didn't need to know any of this about any of this. I don't care about any of this. It hurts.
Cypher is in chat. Hey Cypher, thanks for stopping it. Desmond is my left monitor wallpaper. Oh yeah, the Idle Champ, the key art.
Of course I had to put that as my background. That's not a choice.
I think hang on. Sorry, the background for the stream just ended for some reason. Hang on one second. Why did you do this? This is what happens.
I did nothing. I plead the fifth.
Not you. It would never be you. Start over? Sure. I think that's working now. Sorry about that, folks. So what happened when you slap together an overlay, 20 minutes before the show?
It works.
Totally premiered.
It works.
Yeah. But yeah, that Desmond key art, stunning. The werewolf and the blade.
I'll do it again because reasons. Like that is my phone's wallpaper if I actually move my face. For some odd reason, my camera hates.
There it is. There it is.
That is so good.
Yeah.
I've had artwork made of me before, but sheesh.
Yeah.
Like seeing the wolf flash in the blade, just like you said, has been one of my favorite pieces of yes. Because yes. Like there's no other way to phrase that. Because yes. So sheesh. Sheesh.
And then it got turned into a pancake by Lee Goldberg.
Which was amazing.
Right?
Because I was like, I was impressed by that. But to make that detail in a pancake.
What? I love Lee. I've known Lee for a while now, and I know his skills, but it still even shocked me that they got the reflection of the pancake. Just,
I know this is going to be a silly question, and it's probably dumb, but...
No dumb questions here.
Are those pancakes edible?
Yes, they are. In fact, several times his young kid will chow down on those after an episode. I know, because you'd think that it's got like some extra thing like fondant or something, where it's just like, oh, this looks like something delicious, but then it tastes like Play-Doh. But it's just some color mixing in the batter. But yeah. Yeah, I've told Lee that one of my goals is to meet up with him, and he makes some beautiful pancake art, and I eat it. That's a goal in life.
I feel like that's happened because I feel like when I mentioned when I was in that stream, like I was lurking in the chat, and then I was like, the last time I saw a fancy pancake was at it was a D&D Magic the Gathering breakfast where they served mimosas, and he was like, yeah, I remember that event, and I was like, so that was.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I didn't know. I don't want to assume that it was the same
That's
person because people have skills with pancakes. You got to just allow that, right? Like, if I may steal a line from Attack the Block, allow it. Like, you just got to allow it. And it's like, all right, cool. But like, that pancake was my logo. And it was delicious. So just seeing that much detail in something that you can eat is to me better than those like massive cakes where people are just like putting putting stuff in. It's like no. You put maple syrup on a sweet picture and then you eat it. Yes, 100%. Please, thank you.
100%.
Let's go.
One other question that I had that I think is not as common of a thing in home games, at least from what I know. If you're at home, this is something you do. I apologize, I don't know this. Is bringing characters from one game to another. So how has it been playing Desmond in Black Dice Society and then bringing him over into Idle Champions Presents Court of the Raven Queen? Yes, I do have to say the whole thing every time because it sounds cool.
It's been interesting. because these are new people.
Mm-hmm.
Before Black Dice Society, Desmond basically was in his city, like not wanting to be the king, still wanting to be in charge of something, but not in charge of everything, because he's like doesn't do politics. So to start Black Dice Society off, he was already confused and got used to his team, his pack, and then to be brought into a new group, but feel more powerful at the same time. It's like, okay, like it's just nice. It's like I can work with this.
Yeah,
but he does, like, just like in Black Dice Society, he didn't know who he could trust for some episodes, so he didn't know who we could trust here. But at this point, he's just like, I gotta survive, and these are other people. They seem capable, so this is a new place for me. This is a new place for them. Maybe we'll see. Let's see what happens, and it's just very cool.
Yeah, watching y'all play together and mesh the characters has been so much dang fun. I don't know if you know this, but on Champions of Lore, Big Dave has coined the phrase of the Shadowfell as, or the Domains of Dread as a bunch of dirty bubbles. It's a series of dirty bubbles. So like the interesting thing is that, like, I think from the most of Black Dice side, you went into the Feywild for a bit, but it's been in the Domains of Dread, and now you're out of the dirty bubbles. That was why I wanted to tell it, to get the joke of you're out of the dirty bubbles. You're into the Shadowfell at large. Do you plan on, like, this is not like, I don't think Isle Champions doesn't have any expectations. Do you plan on at all ever like referencing any of this in Black Dice Society? Like, oh yeah, this one time.
At some point.
Okay.
I feel like there's a certain threshold of things that has to happen in Black Dice Society for Desmond to ever mention it at all. And I know what that is. If I may pull the B Dave, you'll see when it happens. Until then, it's got to happen at some point.
Because like I one thing that I know from talking to different people in the D&D community, especially streamers who have brought characters from other streams into other things, like some of them have like, no, this is the same character, this is the timeline, this is where everything's fitting in. And then there's other players who are like, oh no, it like multiverse stuff, this is the same character but in a different situation and stuff like that. So I'm always interested to hear which way someone goes with that.
I feel like if I'm ever going to play Desmond is going to be Desmond's going to be some version of the Desmond that is here now. I don't want to multiverse it in that way.
Try to keep it straight in your head, like, which Desmond is this?
I don't want to have to mix the timelines and then figure out, like, is he a variant in this universe? Like, blah 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 blah. Like, I don't want to have to do all that. That's too much math. I don't know. That's too much work. And it's like, playing Desmond is great because Desmond is an extension of me, essentially. I feel like if I were to play any other way, it would be a lie. And I learned very early on in life that if you lie, you have to keep up that lie before if you're trying to never tell the truth, you have to keep that lie up forever, and then you have to sprinkle more lies to kind of balance it out with real life, and you have to keep piling up new stuff that you're going to forget something. So, like, screw all that. Let's just make it easy. Like, Desmond has one timeline. I don't want to have to forget things. So, like, it's more that, like, since there's one timeline, in my opinion, for Desmond, where on the timeline does it happen? And that's the real question. So, like, I could play Desmond, and then we might play a Desmond before Black Dice Society, right? Like, I don't know if that's ever a thing that could happen, but if I were to do it and it not be a beastly Desmond, maybe, right? Like, a baby Desmond, like, it would have to be
little baby Desmond.
And a little baby Desmond.
Like, we would have to play that before Black Dice Society, because we are watching him grow on Black Dice Society. And I don't want to play a different Desmond. Like, I've gotten him to this point. The only way to do it is to keep him true to the same timeline. Worst case scenario, early. Best case scenario, a perfect place to mix up the things. And then that's like a Saying Elsewhere situation, because then Desmond gets to connect to somebody else who's connected to some other character
Yep.
who's connected to a big bad or a big good that everybody knows. Like, get the degrees of separation from like a Dark Lord seems awesome in my opinion.
It's true. It's true. You know, while you were talking there, I did just realize I now have a Patreon episode suggestion for B Dave, basically doing Black Dice Society
no.
Rugrats, where all of you are just the wee babies, versions of yourself.
Black Dice babies, you know them, but you don't know these.
That would be
You're
perfect.
Had to put music to it.
I mean,
right.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, actually, speaking of B Dave, though, I interesting question, because your ongoing game and your event game are both run by B Dave. Are you finding any differences in DM style between the two shows?
B Days of Savage, any way it goes.
He did win most evil DM.
That's just him being him though. Like that's most B Dave DM. Like that's it's not a bad thing. Like
No.
in chat not thinking like,
Oh, snaps, DJ just.
no, like B Dave's a savage. He owns his savagery. And
It's
that's
true.
just how that works. B Dave's a savage, and we understand. Like, I, for example, had not brought Frost into Black Dice Society yet.
Mm.
And B Dave's like, once he saw Frost in the game, he was like, but what about Black Dice though? And I was like, and then I was gently reminded, if you bring Frost, B Dave will have access to Frost.
Yeah.
And that was enough for me to know I can reference Frost. I don't think I'm going to bring Frost into the game because I want to have Frost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Frost is Desmond's buddy. Do I want to put Frost in a B Dave situation?
We're sorry. Nah, that's it. Just nah.
Not
Just
happening.
nah.
Not happening at all.
You're holding up Frost from B Dave. You never talk to me or my child ever again. I think that was a smart move. And folks want to keep using Frost in Isle Champions, so with happy memories. So one of the other things that we've talked about here, you are a Twitch streamer. How long have you been
Yes.
Twitch streaming?
Since 2015.
2015. What is it about streaming that just keeps you coming back to it? Like you're like, this is what I like. This is what I want to do.
I have a background in education. I have a couple degrees, and I taught for a while. Like I taught overall for close to 10 years
Oh wow.
at a collegiate level. So like for me, being able to teach something is nice. On Twitch, I have such a good time learning about how game systems work. Like I have a rule of like, don't tell me how this game plays. Like there's a command, exclamation, no hints. I'm going to die a lot. Let it happen.
Yeah.
Because surprisingly, before I ever played a Dark Souls game, that's how I like to learn games. A game should be able to tell me everything I need to know about it before I get to a point where I need some information that the game has never given me, right? So I like to try to figure it out. And I feel like I get to do a lot of teaching on the sly while streaming. So then I get to sprinkle a little bit of like, oh, you didn't know how to do that? This is how you do it right here. Just like, and just like become DJ Bay, just briefly, like this is the little thing you were looking for. You're welcome.
DJ Bay DJ Bay needs to be in an emote.
It really does. Considering how much I barbecue and smoke meats, it probably should have been a thing already. I'm behind the times. My bad. Sorry, fam.
I actually did not know about the teaching part, but that makes so much sense as a similar thing to it in, you know, slightly different ways. I mean, like even when you were talking about there with the video games teaching you stuff, and you were talking about teaching game design, like the one that always pops into my head of like perfect teaching game design is the first level of Super Mario, of like that whole little intro thing has taught you everything you need to do to beat the game.
The whole game.
Yeah.
And it's just right there. And can I talk about games?
Oh yeah,
in
yeah,
general?
yeah. Let's talk
Okay,
games.
cool.
Yeah.
It's like I'm playing No Man's Sky right now, and I love No Man's Sky. Have loved it since the day it released, but I after playing the first week and then getting to Friday, I saw multiple things that were outside of the 2 trailers that were official trailers at E3. I have a rule of if I want to play a game, I don't look up any information about it.
Go radio silent on it. Yep.
Right. I see the trailer at E3. Okay, I like that. If another E3 happens, ooh, I like that. I might have to check that one out. That's it. I don't want to know anything else because the more I find out, the more easily I am disappointed. The more easily it is to be set up for failure because the more you know, the more you understand you don't know yet. And then if you hear too much, like if you hear something too early in the game design process, or if they haven't fully fleshed out the whole campaign, they may drop a feature that you read an interview about before that was done. And then you're like, wait a minute, this thing isn't here. So this game sucks because it was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And by only watching the 2 trailers for No Man's Sky, I never got the opinion there was going to be certain things in the game, so I wasn't offended. The Expeditions do a great job of taking longtime No Man's Sky players out of their primary save. If you have a save in No Man's Sky that you've got multiple hundreds of hours in, you don't want to start a new save. The Expeditions get you up to a level similar to what you may have in a save before the end of a 6-week period. So it's like you get to get a bunch of stuff that affects all of your saves of No Man's Sky on that platform. So like if you can go back to that save and pick from the 6 things you get from the Expeditions. So it's like a great way to get you outside of your comfort zone and do something else. And also you get to learn how to do a bunch of stuff that you didn't know you could do before. Like I didn't know you could make cake in No Man's Sky.
I didn't know that before we got to this call.
Event.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, you can make cake? How? And then like finding out how to make cake helps me. I made a clip of how to make cake in like 47 seconds. So like there's just a lot of nuance and a lot of stuff in that game. So we literally had a conversation yesterday about how interesting it is that they've added in both things to keep older players involved in the expeditions by being able to bring in the stuff that you get from the expeditions. They get to boost your ability to do things in No Man's Sky fairly quickly, and they get to teach you a lot about how to do a lot of stuff because they like by selecting the mission how to make cake, it actually told me the ingredients that I needed.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, gather these things, put them in this thing. And the thing that I needed to make, I got the recipe for by completing the objective before that. So it was like, it all helps you to get a better understanding of how that game works, how much stuff they've actually coded into that game. And every expedition has focused on a smaller aspect of the game. And by smaller aspect, I mean, like this one's exobiology. One of them was worms, like right around the time Dune came out. Like you could get a worm mask, you could get a worm that you could ride. You get a worm jetpack trail. So like they add in all kinds of stuff, but it's all well designed. If you kind of like take a second to just like, hold on, is that how that happens? And then you look at it and it's like, wait a minute, that helps this, that helps this. And that to me is a beautiful thing about all games. By playing Desmond, I understand a bit more about not only Desmond's class, but the entire Black Knight Society's cast classes. I get to learn about the Idle Champions Presents Court of the Raven Queen cast, their classes. So it's like there's so much more that you get to find out subtly. As a part of the process. That to me is why game design is such a big deal.
I'm gonna toot CNE's horn here for a second, but all these shows happened before I joined, so this is not me specific, but like part of me does want, because like one of the things that I always did love before I became part of the company was the fact that CNE has all these streams for teaching you how to play the game, Gar Wars Guide, Mars Guiding Hand, all that stuff. And sometimes I wonder if some other games would benefit from having shows like that weekly, of like trying to introduce players that, because you doing that with No Man's Sky, I mean, that's doing so many people a service there of understanding this game more than they didn't before. And while the game may have ways of explaining it, I think there is a difference between the game explaining it to you and someone friendly someone teaching you how to play it. I think that's really cool.
And that's the weird part for me. That is the thing that has brought me back to Twitch so regularly, is that being able to sprinkle in teaching somebody something with a little bit of like Salt Bay humor, like little stuff like that, or being able to just randomly say,
I'm DJ Knight. You've just learned a thing. You're welcome. These are our stories.
And like it's stuff like that. Like One thing I've learned about life is that it's easy to remember things that make you laugh. So if you can laugh while learning, everybody wins. Because I guarantee you can recite 4 different jokes from different comedians that you absolutely loved.
Anybody
like-
want to hear the entirety of Mitch Hedberg's first album? I'll do it right now.
Exactly my point.
Yep.
Escalator unavailable, temporarily stairs.
Sorry for the convenience. Okay, let's check in with chat and see what questions they've got for you, DJ. Remember, you can still drop your questions in chat, and our awesome mod Martin will grab them, put it into a text document that we've got. But let's see. First one from Obo Lauren. Hey, we know that person.
Hey.
Question: what's been the most interesting part of playing Desmond in the relatively less serious world of Idle Champions Presents?
The most interesting thing about playing Desmond in a different place is speaking as Desmond. Like it's not as there's not as much like deadly energy. Like the mists just want to eat you.
Oh yeah.
But like where we are currently is just like, oh, baddie. Oh, okay, we fought it, baddie. It's like that's just fights. Like Desmond can do fights all day, but being in a place that doesn't feel like it wants to eat you, like, is a kind of an upgrade because, in a way, because like at least being in a place that wants to eat you, Desmond knows always be on your guard.
It's true.
This place, not the same, as referenced by last week's episode on how the whole party was caught a little bit off guard, and I'm not going to spoil it.
Slightly.
But if you go back and watch the VOD, I'm sure you get what I'm talking about.
Link to it on our Twitter right now.
It's right there.
Let's see. This is I'm gonna screw up this name. Gakanis. I'm gonna go with that. Gakanis. What is DJ's favorite specialization for Desmond?
Ooh, that's a tough one because I'm so impressed by the amount of things that happen with Desmond in Idle Champions. I do feel like I love running with a pack. But I also like give me the option to speed up the whole team, like making everybody's attacks faster. Like let's go, let's fight this dude or this enemy and just knock him out as quickly as possible. Yes, attack faster. Like I get greedy in that time because it's like, all right, do you want more damage? Do you want to get your ult faster, or do you want to speed everybody up? And I feel like Desmond is such a good character for the group. Like speed everybody up immediately. Do it.
I know when I play games that have roles in it, I do usually try to go for like the support role, the one that it's a healer, it's buffing, it's doing more damage and stuff like that. So I totally get why that would be a favorite. Let's see. Martin, I wonder, is this Martin the mod?
I'm curious about that too.
What is your favorite part about being on streams and creating content for people to enjoy? Black Dice Society, Idle Champions presents your own streams. Also, what have you been also, I've been watching your streams and thoroughly enjoy them.
That's the goal. Thank you. Appreciate that. I feel like my favorite thing about streaming, regardless of that, whether that being Black Dice, Court of the Raven Queen, or my streams, is communication for all intents and purposes. All of it involves talking. I'm a firm believer in if I'm going to be streaming, I should be paying attention to chat. And I get really frustrated when I'm like focus mode and then look back and then like, there's a wall of stuff that I don't know has happened. Like I don't want that to be me. So that's really weird for me. So like, I love the idea of hearing from people and talking to people. So like, it's all about bringing people together and being brought together by a thing. Like whether that be the game or Black Dice or Idle Champions, people are all coming together in every one of those situations for something. And the conversations that happen because random people are pulled together to one place to talk always are interesting to me.
Okay. I like that. Rex Verdes says, question, what has surprised you most playing in a stream game?
What surprises me most in a stream, playing a stream game?
What has surprised you most playing in a streamed game?
Of D&D compared to normal is audience reaction. Like seeing reactions from people in chat. I am that dude who will keep chat up just to see what's happening, and seeing people's responses to what happens, like seeing the chat response when Desmond and Orkira traded snacks, like that was awesome. To see the community confusion over zombie nuggets, like, that was awesome, right? Like,
that is a joke that you and I will keep going for
it's
as
gonna
long as
exist
possible.
forever because zombie nugs, like, that's it. For those of you who don't know, during one of the breaks of Black Dice Society, after we fought the boneless,
Yeah.
every time we mention the boneless, in my brain it brings to mind boneless wings, which I hate the concept of boneless wings because they're literally just adult nuggets. They're grown up
They are.
nuggets. They're nuggets for adults. Like, that's it. It's not a wing. It is a nugget.
Yeah, the
Just
fact they call
admit
them
it.
wings is it's dubious.
Like, I already have frustration with wings because I grew up at a time where a wing was the tip that had like a nibble of something on it, the flat, and the drum connected. It was a triangle of meat, because that's how wings exist when you take them off of a chicken. So you got the drum, you got the flat and the tip, that little point that does nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody somewhere decided, let's make that into 2 wings. And then they charge more for less wing.
It's offensive.
It offends me to my core. So seeing the boneless is like, no, those are gigantic adult zombie nuggets. And then, like, I snuck in during one of the break and I was like, hello, Trevor.
Zombie nuggets.
And then I found out later that you found that hilarious because it came out of nowhere.
It did, because that nearly killed me. Because what I was doing, because, like, here's the thing, I don't listen to the breaks because that's weird and creepy and eavesdroppy. So I have to scan through the waveform to find where it starts up again. And I literally just happened to stop on DJ going, zombie nuggets. And I lost it. And then later in the show, B-Dave's describing something, and then you just in the background, very, zombie nuggets. And I lifted the audio to make sure everyone heard that.
Yay.
I love that so much. And now it's a pancake. Now it's a pancake.
Art and audio for the win.
It's very true. Again, follow. Let's see. Oh my god. Gazus 335 question. Have you ever tried the werewolf voice while on helium?
I have not, and I feel like we might have a helium balloon somewhere in this house right now.
Oh my god. There's no way.
I can't pop it because it was a birthday balloon.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's still fine.
And it was not my birthday balloon, but there's a helium balloon right here. Now I want to. Now I have to go get a balloon.
One day, no, future Black Dice Society episode. If you ever meet fairies again, that'll be the curse. This one is from Martin the mod as well. So second question from Martin. What advice do you give to people who are starting to play D&D to get into the role-playing aspect of their character?
I would say play your character for a couple episodes first.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like you have to understand your character's motivations. And that all depends on what their alignment is. Your character's alignment says a lot about how you will play that character and how that character will be played. Not that how you will play that character. You could literally hand your sheet to somebody else and they see that alignment and they can play that alignment in their way.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're trying to create your character, even if it's on stream, if it's not on stream, understanding your character's alignment, in my opinion, is the most crucial part to playing that character, no matter where you play.
Mm-hmm.
Because if Desmond was chaotic neutral, a lot of things would have been different. A lot of things would have been different, and it would have been a blast every time. So it's situational, and when you make a character, do it.
I like that. Yeah, the alignment, I it's such a double-edged sword for me because it is some of the best way to understand role playing for your character, but it is also some of the, like, I think there's so much wrong information about alignment online of like, no, this means you have to do this. And it's like, well, it's your understanding of your character and what that means to them. Like, I've always stuck with like, lawful does not mean that I obey the laws of the land. Lawful means I have morals that I hold true to myself. Lawful good might not mean that like I'm, you know, going around being the good guy for the city. It might just mean that like I'm a paladin and my oath is this, and that may not jive with everybody, but that's what I hold true to it. I like that. J-Dog.
That's just my personal feeling about how to play a character.
Oh no, and I think that was good. I genuinely do. I think that was great advice. J-Dog 2773 question: what are Trevor and DJ drinking? I got water.
I have Mountain Dew Zero Sugar Spark because I like Dew, and I went and ate a keto diet for a long time, so I started drinking zero sugar sodas, and it's really difficult to try to drink a sugary soda anymore. I tried it and it was just like, nah, this is not right. So I've been drinking zero sugar sodas forever, and it's a new flavor of Mountain Dew. Since I can't get Baja Blast everywhere, I get this. Because Baja Blast is the absolute best flavor of Mountain Dew, and they know this, which is why they only sell it in cans for like 2 months out of the year. Otherwise, they make you go to Taco Bell for it, and I'm pretty sure Taco Bell paid a pretty penny.
Oh yeah,
to have their own exclusive version of Mountain Dew, because Baja Blast is the best flavor.
Let's see. Cassius 335. Black Dice Babies question: what age would Strahd be? I think it'd be great if Strahd was the babysitter. Just get Jason Carl in there that has to deal with all of you as infants.
I would actually love that as an extra episode, to be fair. Now I got to figure out how to make
this voice
work is like
this voice. I gotta add bass to this voice, but not change the voice. Like, that's just not how it's supposed to work.
Let's see. J-Dog comes back and says, DJ cooking show win.
I've cooked on stream before.
Oh, you have?
Yes, it was a while ago, but I've done it, and I'm actually looking at getting a new camera system, courtesy of the reminder from Cypher Tier. I should be getting new cameras soon, which would make it easier for me to do a cooking stream.
Heck yeah.
Also, I feel like I gotta get something different, because I would probably just put most of the cameras up in the backyard next to the grill, and then just have a grilling stream.
Then you definitely have to have the DJ Bay emote by then.
Oh, that's not even. I mean, to be fair, that would probably be the day I make the DJ Bay emote, because you got to have the proper pose. Like,
it's true.
Be the
it's
right
true.
situation, and if there's not a steak underneath it, it's just unfair. It's rude.
That's fair. That is fair. Let's see. Generic nerd question. Aside from having your face in a video game, does it ever feel surreal?
Every minute of it. Like, I have Idle Champs running right now. Like, I've literally, like, the past like 2 to 3 weeks, I've had Idle Champs on desktop running. Like, I started it on my phone, and it's not the same. Like, the phone's not like, the screen is smaller, the interface is smaller, and it's like, I don't feel like squinting to do all this. Meh. So I leave it up on the desktop, and it's just there. It's just been there. Like, I'm finishing up the Suspicious shipment right now. I mean, it's actually done. I'm just letting it coast because I like gold and getting Umberly's favor, because that's gonna boost my next run. You know what I'm saying? But no, like, I've got like 16,000 fish that I have no idea what to do with, because I've run through Desmond's, Orisha, I think it is, and then I'm on the last one. I'm finishing up the second. You know what? Let's just complete this one because it's done.
It's done.
It's another champ that I did not have before, and I'm trying to see who it is so that I'm not a liar.
Yeah, I can't remember right now.
Sasaspia.
Ah, okay.
I don't know if I said that right.
I think that's right. I think that's right.
And also, like, am I going to be able to use these fish? There's a lot of fresh fish that I have right now that are going to be useless.
You can do some free plays. You get some chests. I know people say don't get the chests. You can do them other ways. I understand.
Get the chests. I've done I've done all of Desmond's missions. I've done all of Orisha's missions, and now I'm doing all of these missions. And it's like, just let it coast.
Yeah,
just let it do what it does. I'm a fan.
I know what you mean about the phone thing. I used to play exclusively on the phone, but that's because I had a soul-sucking office job that I would hide my phone under my monitor riser and keep Idle Champions going because I couldn't do anything else with it. Oh man. Let's see. We're getting towards the end of the episode, but I want to get this one in here. Stabagale the Kobold suggests the name for the emote D-Bay.
If I couldn't, like, I had to have, like, if I could get D as just the prefix for all of my emotes, trust, I would. There's a lot of people on Twitch who would claim that given the opportunity. It has to have 3 letters at minimum, and those are DJK, which I feel like I've already shortened considerably.
Yeah.
So if it's just DJK Bay, though, that works. And also because my background in code, it would have to be a capital B. Like it's weird seeing people like not capitalize multiple word. So like if I have like a 2-word emote, the second word is going to start with a capitalization. Camel code for the win. Like it has to happen. So like it would be DJK Bay. And then if I did like 2 of them in the same emote, it would DJK Bay Bay. Just for the puns.
Exactly. All right. Well, we got to start wrapping up here because we got another show cut up right afterwards, which I just remembered, and I probably should sign up soon for that. But DJ, thank you so much for coming on today and talking with me. This is an absolute blast. Where can people find you and what awesome things are you working on?
Not working on anything specifically right now. I'm trying to work on finding, what do they call it? Free time. That would be a good one.
If you find any of that, please ping me.
If I find any, I'm probably gonna sit in it for a little bit.
That's fair.
Before I say anything about where to get it, because you just live in it. But you can find me anywhere on the internet at DJ Knight, and yes, you can find me there as well, because I wanted to make sure to get it so that nobody else did, and then did something silly that people are like,
oh, did you see that DJ Knight's over on this place doing the things?
No, I didn't, because I made the account. I made the account, and nobody's doing a thing because I have it. It's mine. And yeah, Twitter, Twitch, Insta, and TikTok at DJ Knight. I think those are the primary places you can find me. And thanks for coming to hang out with us. Thanks for asking questions that make me think about things that I had never thought about in regards to Desmond. And if you're in chat, can we put a thank you in there for Trevor? Trevor is not only a great interviewer, but also has been literally doing all the podcasts for Black Die Society forever. So like the fact that I could bring up Zombie Nuggets is amazing. And it's like an inside joke that we had before we ever came out today. So that's pretty awesome. And put some love in chat. Todd, we wish you the best. Please get better soon.
Well,
appreciate you.
Thank you, buddy. And yeah, Todd will be back next week. And you know, I'll do this maybe again eventually if Todd feels sick. But until then, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. DJ, thank you one more time. And stay tuned for Developer Insights, which is starting in 2 minutes. So I got to go. All right, bye.
Zombie nuggets, zombie nuggets, zombie nuggets.